Good morning. Will the Committee on Infrastructure, Transportation, and Technology please come to order? It is 9:01 a.m. on Wednesday, August 26, 2026. I would like to welcome Committee Vice Chair Okimoto and virtually Councilmember Tupola, and Councilmember Wire is on his way, and Councilmember De Santos Tam is excused from today's meeting. Pursuant to Section 92-3.7, the Hawaii Revised Statutes, this meeting will be conducted as a remote meeting by interactive conference technology with the following procedures in effect for the meeting. Members of the public will be allowed to provide oral testimony on all items on the agenda remotely and in person in the council chamber when each agenda item is taken up. Okay. Oh, yes. As both English and Hawaiian are official languages of the state of Hawaii, pursuant to Article 15, Section 4 of the Hawaii State Constitution, HRS Section 1-13, members of the public may testify in either language. For oral testimonies offered in Olelo, Hawaii, additional time as may be necessary will be allowed for the testifier to provide an English translation of their testimony. Before testifying, each person shall state their name. Each speaker may not have anyone else read their statement and is limited to a 1-minute presentation on each item. All persons who have registered to testify remotely by video conference or phone will be called upon first. When your name is called, please monitor your screen and activate your audio feed when prompted. I will then give persons who have not registered an opportunity to offer testimony. Please utilize a raise hand feature on Zoom to be called upon. For those who are joining us by telephone only, please press *9 to indicate your desire to speak. I will identify you by the last 3 digits of your phone number. When your phone number is called, please press *6 to unmute yourself when prompted. Some friendly reminders and tips. Video conference from a quiet location if possible. If you are watching the proceedings on Olelo, please mute your television at the time you are called to testify. When the timer on the screen reaches 0, please conclude your remarks promptly. Once all the remote testifiers have testified, I will proceed to in-person testimony in the council chambers. Persons who have not registered will be given an opportunity to speak following the oral testimonies of the registered speakers. HRS Section 92-3.7 requires all votes at remote meetings to be conducted by a roll call unless unanimous. Therefore, I will first call for objections, and if there are any, I will call for a roll call vote. For those council members participating from outside of the council chamber, in accordance with HRS Section 92-3.7, the meeting will automatically recess if we lose audiovisual contact with you and cannot reconvene until we re-establish contact. Therefore, please announce beforehand if you will be voluntarily signing out of the meeting. With that, Council Vice Chair Tupola, may I ask that in accordance with Section 92-3.7, the Hawaii Revised Statutes, please identify each person who is with you at your location.
Aloha Committee Chair, I'm here alone. Thank you.
Mahalo. For written testimonies including the testifier's address, email address, and phone number will be available to the public as described on the posted agenda. As a courtesy, please silence or turn off your cell phones. Okay. As members, please note that item number 3, the informational briefing regarding issues in private streets and roads within the city and county of Honolulu on page 3 has been canceled. However, I intend to schedule this for our next committee meeting on Wednesday, September 23rd. All right, moving forward to agenda item number 1 for action. It is resolution 26, excuse me, I jumped 2 years ahead, 187, accepting a gift of painted curb extensions or bulb outs, which I love, valued at $4,000 to the city from Ka'elepulu Elementary School Parent Teacher Student, Ka'elepulu Elementary School Parent Teacher Student Association to improve the visibility of pedestrians, reduce the speed of turning traffic, create a more vibrant streetscape, and foster a sense of stewardship of the improvements fronting Ka'elepulu Elementary School in Kailua. Members, we have posted to the agenda a proposed CD1 of the resolution identified as OCS 0496/8/18/2026, 1:43 p.m., submitted by myself. For your information, a summary of the amendments are listed on the agenda. With that, we have from the City Administration, Deputy Director Hong Lee with us.
Morning, Chair Cordero. Morning, committee member. My name is Hong Lee. I'm Deputy Director of Department of Transportation Services. We support this resolution. We appreciate the gift. If you have any questions, I have my complete street administrator, Renee SPLO here to answer any questions.
Thank you, Deputy Director. Deputy Director, we're so used to getting these gifts from the Parks Department, and so we know that it goes directly to Parks. But when it comes to a department such as DTS, does the department or does like the MD's office, Mayor's office, or BFS assume the gift or have responsibility for the gift?
I believe the process is through MD's office. Once it goes through there, then DTS would have access to the money.
Okay, understood. And for the extensions themselves, we ensure that they are up to city standard.
Can you repeat the question again?
Do we ensure that the curb extensions or bulb outs are going to be to city standards?
Yes, I think the intent is really to improve the safety.
Okay.
I'm going to have Renee to answer the question.
Thank you, Deputy Director.
Good morning, Chair Cordero, member of the committee. So the striping and the delineators are already in. So the curb extensions are already there. Our Department of Facility Maintenance actually put them in last summer, right before school started. We did have a fatality at one of these crosswalks a few years ago, so it's been an area that we've been trying to improve. So the mural project is just kind of fill in the lines that have already been designed by our in-house engineers and installed by DFM.
Thank you. Thank you. And Complete Streets Administrator, I was just wondering, because we've seen murals done before, who is responsible for the upkeep of such?
So DPR actually has created a new public art form, kind of in response, I think, to some of the previous murals that weren't really maintained by the folks who put them in. So that's something we're going to be working with the folks to put in. So the community will be responsible for maintenance for a while. We have really committed community members. We also have Lauren Roth doing the art. She's a pretty well-known artist in Kailua. So it's something that I think they all have interest in keeping beautiful because it's right outside their home, and it also is sort of conveying a project by a prominent artist. That said, we do have a long-term project to improve Keolu Drive, so I don't know how many years it'll be there before we kind of come through and change the roadway, but we are pretty confident that they're going to be able to maintain it through then. They're also doing some kind of extra measures to keep the paint in good condition, putting in primer, and then I think they're going to do a sealant over it as well, which we have not typically done before.
Right, yeah. Case in point in Kalihi as well. So, yeah, not too traumatized.
A little heartbreaking, that one.
Okay, so DPR, you said, has that program?
They actually helped develop a form that we will use and adopt. They've recommended that we get that, so everyone's maintenance expectations are very clear up front and in writing.
That's great to hear. Thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate them for that.
Members, are there any questions? We have Committee Vice Chair Okimoto, and okay, got it.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, Administrator Espial. So the $4,000, what does that cover?
There is an artist fee that I think is around $1,500 or something, just for her time to kind of conceptualize the project. She's been working with the students for months, and the students actually influenced the mural. And then she'll be there to kind of lay it out and supervise installation. And then the rest of it is supplies, so paint and paintbrushes and all the things that we're going to need to put it in. And then it'll be done by volunteers in a few weeks.
That's nice. So the curb extension or the bulb out, that's already there. This is not to pay for like the infrastructure to be placed in. This is for artwork.
No, we did the actual curb extensions
Okay.
with my budget. I bought the delineators, DFM put them in. So typically that's the arrangement we'll do with these kind of art projects. Usually the city will do kind of draw the lines and put in the delineator posts, and then we rely on the community to do
Okay.
the art piece.
It's nice. I know in my community there are areas where they get even like kids involved. Then they take kind of ownership, and that way hopefully there's less vandalism. But thank you to I guess it's the PTA,
Yeah.
PTSA of the school.
Yeah.
So thank you. Thank you for explaining that. Thank you, Chair.
Of course.
Thank you. Okay, seeing no further questions, we can go to testimony, and if there's any other questions, we'll go back to it in discussion. With that, oh no, that's another item. Okay, we don't have any registered in-person or online testifiers. Is there anyone in person or online who wishes to testify? Okay, seeing none. Members, we are back in discussion. Oh, I just hope that, sorry, excuse me. Council Vice Chair Tupola, I apologize.
No, it's okay. Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to thank DTS for being in the meeting and as well for the donations. So we just did something similar in my community. We had an artist come out. We did it at the DMV. We painted the entire sidewalks leading into it with artwork from the area. And then that same artist did Waipahu bulb outs and the curbs. I think he worked with DTS on that. But I just love art and colors, and I think that it brings a lot of vitality to the area. We had a lot of vandalism in some of those areas, and actually it's kind of stopped because now there's this beauty and the whole community came to paint it out. So I hope that, I'm sure in the project there's going to be lots of kids, hopefully parents, kids in a safe way participating, because it brings so much ownership to the community, and there's way less problems when people feel like they took part in making something better. So I'm excited about all projects that are like this. Thank you, Chair.
Mahalo, Council Vice Chair. Those are great points, and I love that too. Okay, if there are no further discussion, the Chair recommends that Resolution 26-187 be amended to the posted CD1, identified as OCS 2026-0496/18/8/18/2026/143 p.m. Any discussion, any objections, any reservations? The resolution has been amended to a CD1. The Chair then recommends that Resolution 26-187 CD1 be reported out for adoption. Any discussion, any objections, any reservations? Hearing none, so ordered. Moving forward to our last item on the agenda. Yes. Bill 54, 2026, amending provisions relating to stopping, standing, or parking. With that, I think, Deputy Director, will you be speaking about this?
Morning, Chair Cordero and committee member. My name is Hong Li, with Deputy Director of Department of Transportation Services. Thank you for the opportunity to testify on the bill. DTS appreciate the intent of this bill. We understand the concern about a vehicle blocking driveway near the trailhead. We agree that keeping driveway clear and maintaining safe access to trailheads are important. However, DTS opposes Bill 54 in its current form. Our main concern is the proposed special curb painting program for the driveway within one quarter mile of the public hiking trail. This is different from the city's general approach to curb markings. The city does not generally paint curbs to identify every location where parking is already prohibited by law. We use curb markings primarily for specific traffic and operational purpose, such as bus stops and commercial loading zones. Parking in front of or within 4 feet of the driveway is already prohibited. Painting the curb does not change the law. We also concerned that selective curb painting could create confusion. If some driveway are painted and other are not, sending a wrong message to the motorist. The motorist would think the unpainted curb is okay for parking. There's also significant maintenance concern from our side. With many trailheads, this is an island-wide program. We identified many public trailheads. If you draw a circle within a quarter-mile circle within that trailhead, it potentially include hundreds of driveways. This will create a lot of maintenance burden for our crew that is already pretty busy with maintaining the current curb painting we have in the city. Finally, we question the 1/4 mile boundary. For traffic, from a traffic management standing point, a driveway does not become more important simply because it's within 1,200 feet from a hiking trail. In summary, DTS support the intent of improving access and safety near hiking trail, but we do not believe a special curb marking program is the right answer. We recommend a consistent island-wide approach to curb marking and the continued use of existing parking law and the enforcement. For these reasons, DTS respectfully opposes the Bill 54 in its current form. Thank you.
Mahalo, Deputy Director. As for the amount of applicable, I guess, driveways or areas that are leading up to a public hiking trail, do we know how many areas are that close to a hiking trail? The hiking trails in my district normally are adjacent or attached to a state park or a city park, and as opposed to abutting right up to private homes or properties. So I was just wondering if you happen to have considered how many different neighborhoods that may affect.
We don't have an accurate estimate right now, but we can work with DPR to come up with that estimate. But in general, we have official, trailheads. We also have many unofficial trailheads on this island. Everybody know what they are and where they are. So potentially, if you apply this 1/4 mile radius from any trailhead, potentially you can encompass many private driveways. That is really our main concern. The maintenance responsibility is in the city is actually with DFM. We can work with DFM, identify the number of the driveways, but we believe there's potentially could be hundreds of them.
I understand. I do want to note that it's for the bill. It does mention for public, public access to a hiking trail, which means to me any official hiking trails. But I'll leave that up to maybe for the introducer to discuss with you as well. Members, do you have any questions or clarification on this for our second for consideration for second reading? Okay. Okay, hopefully, have you been able to meet with the introducer? Who's the introducer? I don't know. Oh, Chair Waters. Thank you. Did you happen to have a discussion with the introducer yet?
I didn't myself. I believe our director, Roger Morton, has some discussion with Chair Waters. But certainly we can reach out to him again for a further discussion.
Okay, awesome. So I would like to consider this for second reading, and when it comes back, we'll be able to discuss this further and work on it in committee before hopefully out for passage. So thank you, Deputy Director. Members, no other discussion. We'll go to testimony. With that, we don't have any registered online testifiers. Is there anyone online who wishes to testify? Seeing none, members, we are going to in-person testifiers. We have Dalen Cam here from Oahu Transit Riders with us. Always great to have you with us.
Very much.
So please proceed.
Aloha Committee. My name is Dalen Cam of the Oahu Transit Riders. We do recognize that parking is a major issue around many of our hiking trails, and part of this is due to the lack of car-free or car-light access to these trails. And if this is implemented, and even if this isn't, we would urge the city to improve other means of access to these trails other than driving. As an avid hiker myself, many of these trails, you basically only have one option, which is to drive there unless you want to walk 2-3 miles to the nearest bus stop or wherever. So yeah, that is all we have to provide. Thank you very much.
Mahalo, Dalen. Members, any questions? Okay, seeing none. Okay, members, we are back in discussion, Okay, seeing none, I already shared my intent for moving this forward. And with that, and hopefully discussion can continue before it comes back to committee and even before second reading, yeah? Okay, the chair recommends that Bill 54, 2026 be reported out for passage on second reading and scheduling of a public hearing. Any discussion, any objections, any reservations? Hearing none, so ordered. With that, members, there being no further business, this meeting is adjourned at 9:22.